Live, 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 Uziel's live for you to join along. Live, 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 Uziel's live for you to join along. What's up, everybody? We are live with a special segment, our very first live stream for a interview on the Premios podcast, and no better else but to start with our special guests. So let's just get started right away with the Premios podcast.
Welcome to the Premios podcast, where we interview those that entertained us in our childhood.
We are here with the legendary Bentzi Marcus, also known as, you might know him from Eighth Day, the Hasidic Ramblers. Also a producer from many productions for other concerts, and a very big Jewish music enthusiastic and entrepreneur, so to speak, in the Jewish entertainment. So Here we are. We are honored to have Bentzi Marcus. How are you doing?
Thank you, Uziel. So good to be here with you on the Premios podcast. What an honor.
Yeah, and we're going to go Premios a little bit here.
Great. Right.
So let's start with the basics, like your background and your childhood and where you originally come from.
Wow. Okay. Grew up in Southern California on Shlichus. My father is Shliach in a little town called Los Alamitos, California.
Yeah.
And that is a whole interesting story in and of itself. We can get into that if you'd like. And grew up in Orange County, which is not a very, or at least back then, wasn't a very Jewish or frum area.
Yeah.
So, growing up on Shlichus, not a lot of, frum friends growing up, and just spending a lot of time, Chabad house. Eventually, as I got older, started to do, the music thing, which led to eventually doing music full time. It was a beautiful way to get introduced to doing events, performing for audiences, also learning how to connect with an audience, because I spent time, watching my father, develop a Chabad house, a Chabad community, inspiring people. I always enjoyed my father's speeches on Shabbos. He would give the Dvar Torah, after Kriyas Torah or whatever, before Musaf. He was a great speaker. He is a great speaker. And then eventually getting into music and sort of transitioning to that, that's kind of the long and short of it. I'm not sure what else you want to explore. The shlichus side, the growing up, the music.
Yeah. So basically the idea is that, like, when I meet the people on the podcast, so people that I grew up with, but also especially people that do what I love to do, right? So when it comes to talking about music and getting involved with music and in Jewish entertainment, whatever it is, I always like the specifics of where they are in their career, where did that originate from, where they keep pinpoint in their childhood or in their origins that made them go like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
It's a good question. Probably a few things. Obviously, I'm sure you know, and many of your audience knows, our uncle, famous Avram Fried, the legendary Hasidic singer. We grew up, backstage at all of his concerts. That was a huge part of it, of course. But also my parents were very, very into music. Music was always in the house. Motzei Shabbos, the second we make Havdalah and everything would settle down, my mother right away would put on, some Lava Malka music, and, a Gut Tevach, Mit Bracha, Hatzlacha, and even the kids' tapes, the Marvelous Midos Machine, Kiwi and Tuki. We were always listening to that stuff and memorizing all the songs, and of course all the Miami Boys Choir stuff. I think maybe to pinpoint it a little bit, when I was in third grade in the Hebrew Academy, they asked me to sing solo in the choir. That was the thing. In Hebrew Academy, the third grade always did a choir concert or whatever for the school and for different events around the community. And they asked me to sing a solo. And I said no. I was like way too shy. And I was like, no. But the head of the choir, Rabbi Greenwald, shout out to Rabbi Greenwald, my teacher, he pushed me and he's like, don't worry, it's going to be okay. And, you know, and that was my first live performance, first professional gig. I guess I didn't get paid. So, and that maybe started a little bit doing like live performance. I was so nervous. I remember the first time I had that solo, my stomach hurt so bad. I was just hoping they canceled the whole event. You know, like looking up, maybe it's going to rain. Maybe, you know, maybe they'll just cancel this whole thing. But Baruch Hashem, it worked out. And, you know, it's a good way to, you know, get over your nerves, to just go through it. Quick word of advice, I guess, to people out there who are maybe thinking about doing music and performing, and you're nervous and you're scared. And it's always scary the first couple of times, but, you know, you get through it. And then nothing happens. And then, you know, it was over and I was like, hey, it wasn't that bad. So that could be a good big part of it. Eventually I started to get very into guitar and actual music composition. And probably around, you know, bar mitzvah, high school, just became obsessed with like music arrangement. That was like a very, very big key. My friends used to make fun of me that we'd listen to Avram Fried and all the new albums. And I was always listening to like the bass line, you know, or like that trumpet harmony. My friends were like, what are you even talking about? And that really started to zone in for me, like the musical arrangement, the magic of creating a song, but also creating the harmonies and creating the style and the drums and the harmony, the whole thing. It was just so magical to me. And I really started to obsess and get very into that.
Would you say that even today you still have that passion as much as you had as a child? Was it different for you as a child as you are now? What would you say the differences between that intuitivity and that passion, wanting that like those little nuances in the music versus then or now?
Great question. That's a great question. So I'll say that music is sort of like the unattainable treasure, you know, like they say, like you're never finished. Similar, I mean, Bahavdal, I guess, like to Torah, you know, you're never finished learning. You could never. So I guess not so similarly, but music also has this just never-ending. As much as great as you think you get at it, not that I think I'm great, but as much experience as you have with it, and you think you've learned, and now like I got it. It's really a never-ending journey. So obviously, I'm not the same as I was, you know, when I was 9 years old and listening to Avram Fried's, you know, Forever One or whatever. But yeah, the passion is still there. It's still a mystery, and it's still, you know, exciting. Genres are changing, styles are changing. Yeah, the magic of I guess the difference is now I'm actually creating music. You know, I have my own studio, I have my own band, obviously, and my own doing performances. But the excitement of like coming up with a new song and, you know, developing an arrangement, that's Baruch Hashem. Yeah, that never gets old. I think the one thing that's changed as I've gotten older is my appreciation for nigunim. As a kid, nigunim were always like, you know, like davening. It was like you just sort of had to do it. It's part of like the, you know, part of the religion. You know, enjoyed them, whatever. As I got older, I really started to appreciate the depth and the beauty and the soul stirring quality of Chabad Nigunim. That's why I started. I don't know if you're familiar with the Seder Nigunim project. Nice, something that I love very much.
When I was in Far From Morristown, you came by and you were part of that production. Also, you came by Morristown.
Oh, you were there when we did the recording there.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, that was beautiful. So yeah, that I think has changed as I've gotten older. I've really taken to that. But yeah, in general, music is like, it's just a never ending. If you're truly into music, which by the way, I think everybody is on some level.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like the Chassidus teaches us, it's the language of the soul, and Baal Shem Tov, speaks about how transportation spiritually is by Nagina. It's by
Right.
So everybody has a deep connection with music, one way or another. Whether it's you're more musical, or you just love to listen to music, or you like to play music, whatever. But yeah, it's definitely a never-ending. The harmonies are, the harmony potentials are never ending.
Oh yeah.
And obviously it's when you're writing a song, you're speaking from your heart, you're speaking from your soul.
Yeah.
So that's that's not gonna run out. We're Baruch Hashem, we're living, breathing, experiencing, living, seeing things, feeling things. So there's always gonna be that that connection that's gonna translate to music, somehow.
Right. Would you say then um, that music has changed dramatically when you first got onto the scene about 15 years ago or 10 years ago with you and your brother to now? Is it, in your opinion, it's different but not as much? What do you have to say about the landscape of over the, because you basically did almost 2 decades of you and your brother doing this together. So the landscape of music, what do you think about that over the course of your career?
Definitely, yeah, it's changed dramatically is a good word, and Baruch Hashem for that. It would be boring if things didn't change and we just kind of stayed, in one place. But listen, you have technology, the innovations in technology, even in the last 5 years. Forget about the last 10 years, last 20 years. That's a huge game changer. I think the best thing that's happened is the fusion of genres. And it was always happening from day one, I think, but now it's just really taken off. For example, Avram Fried, Mordechai David, the original superstars. So they were fusing kind of that old klezmer, chazanis,
Yeah.
that like, and they were bringing it into like kind of a modern sound for that era, the like kind of the disco rock, like the horn section or whatever. That was kind of like a takeoff on klezmer, but making it more modern for like the American audience. So now it's like any artist could basically sing in any genre right now, and it would sound great if it's done well and if it's well produced. You have Zusha that are doing their kind of interesting, electronic, spiritual, whatever, even, like Avram Fried and those guys, they've, adapted to like a newer sound. But yeah, you can listen to any popular singer now, and it could be any genre, it could be any style, any kind of instrumentation. Used to be like, it had to have a certain horn section with a drum beat. I don't know if you remember Rick Cutler. He was like the drummer who played on like every Jewish album. Like that was the sound. Now it's like, it could be
I
any.
heard his name, but yeah.
Yeah. So it could be a keyboard, it could be a guitar, it could be more jazzy, it could be more rock, it could be kind of a little bit of a country western, feel. It could be like a little bit of that reggae stuff that I feel like we helped
right
bring around. I just got louder. Perfect.
Oh,
I hear you right now.
I got louder. Oh, perfect.
Yeah, no, in a good way. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just tweaking little things here and there behind the scenes, but yeah. So let's go back to a little bit, because I remember, I don't know if anyone has ever brought it to you for the past 10 years, but I remember when we used to get from Ura the Schmorg samples or the DVDs, and I remember you and your brother being on one of the first ones.
Yeah.
And that was before Yalili.
Do you remember what song it was?
I don't remember the music.
Shabbos Now.
Oh, it was that one.
Shabbos Now, yeah.
No, but wasn't there one before that?
Uh-uh.
Oh, okay, because I remember seeing a picture. I guess maybe it was they put a picture of you, but younger. But it was Shabbos Now.
Yeah. Shabbos Now
fine.
is a pretty old song.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's really old. Yeah.
Yeah.
But and that was before Trachtgut?
No.
Okay, so Trachtgut was your first album. So and you were known then as the Hasidic Ramblers. Hasidic Ramblers.
Talk to me.
Yeah. But yeah, talk about that first album, that first project that you were getting into.
Yeah. Yeah. So those songs came out before we came out, like as a band, or before the album came out. They kind of preceded, because we weren't doing an official musical project or band, or it was mamish as like a fun family project on the side. Shmuley, my brother Chaim, was involved as
Yeah.
Ellie was our drummer. My other
Ellie,
brother,
your brother?
Ellie was our original drummer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He was very, 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 very talented. He still is, obviously.
Oh,
But
of
as
course.
a kid, he was a total prodigy. Played piano and drums, and I think he even played like flute for a while. Just like one day, he plays guitar beautifully. And he sang beautifully. But yeah, he was our original drummer, and it was mamish just like a cholamoid trip for fun. Let's go to the studio. And Shmuley was writing these beautiful like poems at the time: Penny of Fire, Penny of Love, Kukuriku. And I was, starting to come into my own as a musician, as a guitar player. So we started collaborating for fun. My brother Chaim was like, hey, these sound great. Let's go to the studio. I'm like, okay. So yeah, people called us the Marcus Brothers, Hasidic Ramblers. We didn't really have an official title or band or anything like that. But eventually, over probably a span of like 7 years, 5 to 7 years, we created that first album. And when we were releasing the album, we were like, okay, we need an actual name. Like, we can't just wing it with like Marcus Brothers or Hasidic Ramblers.
Yeah.
That's when we came up with the Eighth Day idea.
What came to the decision of Eighth Day? Like Yom HaShmini, was it that week's Parsha? Like, why Eighth Day?
So we spent hours. If I remember correctly, we were sitting in my brother Zalman's Chabad house. He's in Mission Viejo, about an hour south of where I live here in Redondo. And we were sitting, and my brother Chaim was there, and we were discussing, and we went through so many ideas. It's hard.
Think
about a band name that's not like cheesy or, And then I was just thinking how Shmuley's birthday is Shmini Atzeres. And the idea of Eighth Day is connecting with, all of our songs are inspired by Chassidus, one way or another.
Of course. Yeah.
Big time. Shmuley as our main writer and lyricist.
Oh yeah.
Spent many years in, Nolei Torah, by the Rebbe and the Mems. And, he was very inspired by, obviously, as we all are, by Chassidus, and it came out in some nice poetic, interesting, ideas. So, like the idea of 8, which, with Chassidus represents supernatural, transcendent, above, Teva, which is 7.
Right.
And we started talking about it, and like we just kind of looked at each other like, Eighth Day, that's it. That's the name.
Yep.
It just felt right, and we just ran with it. So at the time, it sounded like a cool idea. Hopefully, it's still cool.
So we do have very little time. By the way, thank you so much for taking time over your busy schedule to do this, which is amazing.
Pleasure.
But I do want to get to core questions that I do have actually want to get to. So one of them is the idea of your music for Eighth Day versus music for that you or your brother would write or produce for other singers. Like, for example, a big song that is very famous that you guys did was Tamu for Benny Freeman. Shmuley has always collabed on lyrics for other singers and stuff like that. You always find Easter eggs of his name in the booklets and stuff. What would you say is like when you sit down and write a song or write music, produce music, what would you say is like the music that go, this is perfect for the Eighth Day band? And then there's music that's like, maybe this is not necessarily for us. Maybe it's better for this singer, or maybe let me try to pitch it to this producer. What do you think is like the definition of an Eighth Day song versus just a song that you guys made for in general?
Interesting. I mean, it's hard to really. I guess it's just kind of a gut feeling. Obviously, Shmuley got approached a lot to write. Once Eighth Day started to get out there, people started asking him for lyric ideas, song ideas. We wrote a few songs. Collab with Benny on a couple of songs that were great. We also did
Follow Don't Cry.
No, with Benny we did a song. I thought it was a great song. Na 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 na. The words are escaping me right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a really nice collab. So I mean, listen, obviously, other guy in the show, that sounds like a Benny Friedman song. Benny.
But technically, that song, if it was on your album, I would think it. It does sound like an Eighth Day song more than the other songs you probably did with other singers.
Interesting. I think Benny approached Shmuley to write a song with with Tamuru in it. Maybe, he had that specific idea. I know Broken Hearts. I don't even remember Broken Hearts. One of our
of course.
So that I think we were trying to write a song for Avram Fried.
Oh.
And he didn't really like it. He was like, "Yeah, not so much my style." But we were like, "Okay, but we like it. We think it's a great song." So we just went with it. We wrote. Let's see what else. Yeah, collab with Avram. But yeah, I mean, listen, artists have their distinct style and comfortable with certain rhythms and words and just the way the song develops. Every artist has their strength and their feel. Like when we write, we're not writing for like a specific purpose or a specific we need this to be a wedding hit, or we need, which is fine. Not to knock, like people writing like a chuppah song, which is beautiful. That's great. It's there's a lot of chuppahs and we need a lot of songs. I think it's more, we just try to be more organic, even though it's hard to be obviously 100% authentic, but just try to be more kind of just like real inspiration as much as possible and just kind of follow that naturally. That's kind of our approach. That's our philosophy is, once the song is developed enough to where it's something, let the song, dictate where it needs to go rather than trying to put it into a box and be like, okay, this is going to be like that. Just try to organically let it figure itself out, so to speak.
So you are also very heavily involved in the production side of your concerts. And some people don't even realize that because it's your band, usually you're almost like the conductor and the manager of the bands. And I even we first met at Palm Beach Synagogue where you did a production, and it's very hard to tell unless you actually are specifically looking for it. It's very hard to tell that you are in the production, so to speak, because you are very organically with the crowd and you're not really showing anything about I'm trying to direct people behind me versus trying to get my attention to the audience. What's the trick? What's the balance, if there is any, or it's just natural? What is that? How does that go?
Yeah. Well, first of all, how fun was that?
That was amazing. That was
great. Well, first of all, I have a very big advantage that I have Uziel Marcus, lead singer, entertainer extraordinaire.
Yeah.
Really, he takes up a lot of the attention. So it leads me to I do kind of sometimes sneak off to maybe get, prep something or talk to the band or whatever.
While he's directly with the crowd.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's a huge advantage. Otherwise it's very hard. If you're just up there by yourself, it's hard. But, listen, experience doing it for years, many different locations and different types of events and, concerts, weddings, kumsitz, whatever it is, you just sort of, get the experience of the flow of an event. And also very important is the musicians. When you're working with the right musicians, there's a familiarity, there's, you sort of trust them. They know maybe sometimes even without you having to say something, they kind of understand where you're where you're pushing it. So that that's just experience, learning the right people to work with and the right way to sort of situate everything and prepare properly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of, there's no easy way to do that. It takes experience, and it takes working with the right people. So,
So
yeah.
does it frustrate you when you go to a concert where they have a different band, not necessarily your band?
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes that could be frustrating. I think we've had enough experience to where we can guide it to where, like you put in your tech writer certain thing
Yeah.
just to make sure you have certain technical things, set up and figured out beforehand. But Baruch Hashem, we've paid our dues, as they say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Had those, like, disaster nightmare events. So you just learn step by step how to just kind of minimize any potential dangers.
Yeah.
But yeah, over time we've just learned to navigate that, and for the most part, we're working with professionals, people who are not just there because it's a job; they're there also because they want it to be a good concert. They have sort of a self-invested interest. Like, for example, just a name that comes to mind, like the Freilich Orchestra.
Oh yeah.
These guys are like so professional. They dot every I, cross every T. They are like, they don't leave anything to chance. Blue Melody, we just work with them. Cholamite.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Blue Melody,
These
yeah.
guys, they put in the work. They prep. I have like 20 conversations, with what's his name, Ari Boyanju, back and forth, prepping and charts and discussing and practicing. So Baruch Hashem, we've been surrounded by a lot of good people.
The one story that I think is the most amazing story in your career.
Mm-hmm.
I know bits and pieces, but I do both for the audience, both for myself, just to get more out of it. Is when you were coming out with Yalili and you weren't sure, and the story with Eli Schwebel. If you want to talk about that, that's an amazing story.
That is a great story. So we met Ellie earlier that year at KMR. It was in Laguna Beach, California that year, their resort. Shout out to KMR. Gave us our first big shot. So we performed there. He came over afterwards. We were virtually unknown. Basically had like a local following, friends, Crown Heights, Mishpucha,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And he came over. He was blown away by our performance. The like, just authentic music. It was English. We had written all of our own songs. We spoke about like our own experiences, what inspired the songs, and he was like, "Guys, this is incredible! Like, this is
Yeah.
this is like what I like. You're like the people I want to hang out with." Anyway, we became very good friends. We just started, Ellie's a brilliant musician in his own right. One of my favorite people to talk to about music, and he's a great guy.
And he's also very deep.
Yeah, very spiritual and very intelligent. He's a good time. Everybody loves Ellie. So we were in touch, and just followed up with him. I said, "Hey, we're working on this song, Yalili." Oh, he said, "Send it to me." And he listened to it, and he was like, "Guys, this is the best song ever. Like, this is the biggest thing." And we were like, "What are you talking about? It's like a joke."
Yeah, yeah.
Party, Ashkenazi, Yalili. And he was like, "I'm telling you, this thing is huge." And he performed. OHEL, the organization OHEL, used to do a big concert.
Yes.
Every year. I don't know if they stopped doing it. Not sure. But they used to do a very big, beautiful concert. He was performing with Lev Tahor, his group. And he said, "I need you guys to come and do the song Yalili in my show. Like, I'm going to bring you on as a guest, like as a guest star."
Nice.
And like refusing again, I guess is a kind of a theme. I was like, "No way. This song is like, it's not ready. Nobody knows it. Nobody knows who we are. I don't even think it's that good song." And he did not give up. He convinced me. And to the point where he said, "I'll rehearse with the band, the song." Like, he wrote the arrangement and everything. And he's like, "I'll video call you from the rehearsal so you could see how good it sounds. And if you don't like it, well," like, he was so confident. And he called me from the rehearsal, and I was like, "Okay, yeah, it sounds pretty good." So we did the performance, and the crowd went crazy from like go. We came out there. I don't remember exactly. There's a video of it somewhere. I think we just came out and just started like yalla yalla yalla, just
Yeah.
and the crowd was like up and dancing and clapping and singing. I mean, maybe in my mind it's maybe bigger than it actually was, but I remember the reception was like wow, which is rare because we were unknown. The song was unknown,
Yeah.
and that like snowballed the whole. The rest is history, as they say.
That's crazy. Yeah, that is amazing. And I also remember, uh, I grew up with the Oha concert, the music we love, where they didn't announce the artist, and
Oh
that
yeah,
was like after you came out with Yalili, and you went on
yeah.
stage with the same dancer from the music video.
Mm-hmm.
That was yeah. That I grew up with that concert. That's great.
So
What would you say is over the course of your career and all over 11 albums? Am I getting that correct?
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Over around 11 albums. What would you say is something that you did better or you are doing better in the recent albums or singles than you did in the first time that you came around with the first albums and singles?
Wow. I mean, the first thing that is just starkly comes to mind, and it's maybe you could go either way, but just musically, we've grown like a million miles from where we were originally. Some say, there's like kind of like an innocent like charm to that, like when you like don't really know what you're doing and you're just winging it, like the chords, just to go kind of musical technical for a second. The chords that I was coming up with in those early years were questionable at best. Um,
Yeah.
but I mean, but it also creates like kind of an interesting, unique vibe, which was perfect for the time. But yeah, musically, we are just on a different universe as far as
Yeah.
just know-how, production, understanding how to make a good drum sound, for example, or how to come up with like a harmony that'll make a chorus feel a little bigger. These are concepts we're completely foreign to us. Like not even a havamina for any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I think as far as the creative side, it's changed just because we've changed. It's like back then I was a bacher at the time. Shmuley was a bacher when we first started. It was kind of a more like innocent, just you can look at the stuff we were writing. It was very like almost like storyteller. Had this very like innocent, wonder
Yeah.
of like everything in the world. And now it's like a little more experience, a little more, a little more like pragmatic kind of life experience. So that changes. But I think maybe the biggest thing that's changed is like music at first let's say it's a hobby, or not even a hobby. It's just something you love. You listen to music, you play music.
Yeah.
And then it becomes like a profession. And we view it obviously as a shlichus, as we're inspiring Yidden, we're inspiring sometimes we perform for even non-Jewish audiences, make a Kiddush Hashem to show, like we performed Disney. I don't know if you know about that. We did like
Yeah, I heard
Disney,
about it. Yeah, a while ago.
yeah, 2 years ago. We did like a whole season. They featured us on their main like holiday season.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Stage. Yeah, it was amazing. So, sorry, just a quick tangent. When we got that gig, we were like, "Oh, perfect! We're going to tell all our friends come to Disney." Turns out you can't get tickets to Disneyland during that holiday season. It's so busy
Oh
that
yeah.
they basically it sells out to like all their members or whatever. So the crowd was like mostly Goyim, like 99.9% Goyim. Once in a
Yeah.
while, some Jews would show up, but you can imagine. And it was beautiful. We sang all of our own songs. We did like Yalili and Miracle of Light, and then I think we did Celebrate and one other song I forget now. Oh, Roland. We did Roland. All You Got. So these are Hasidic concepts, or Jewish concepts. Give It All You Got is based on the story of Reb Zusha. Miracle of Light is based on the Rebbe's whole approach to, the Kosis Lamoyer and the whole thing of the Neshama, the Pintel Yid.
Yeah.
And Yalili is more just, Achdus of Yidden. celebrate, share. We would announce, this is from King David, from Psalms. The Goyim at Disneyland. They're like, oh wow, So it was
Yeah.
a huge Kiddush Hashem. We felt really great about that, and anyway. So the point being, when it becomes a profession and it becomes a shlichus, there's a little more of like an achrayus to what you're doing. So I think balancing that is what changes. So first it's like,
Yeah.
oh, this is all fun. We're writing songs, Kukariku, Trachkofetzaingut, and Hasidic Rambler, Talk to Me. Like we were just having a great time. Now it's like, okay, we have an audience. So but how do you keep that innocent, musical, creative thing strong while balancing that? I think that's the biggest thing, that's the biggest challenge for any artist that, takes it on as a profession.
So I do want to get to some questions and comments from the people that are watching. So, and especially when we are running out of time, I would love for you to come back on and just go deeper and deeper. There's so much I want to talk about, but before we get to the questions, what would your main advice be for people that are trying to start out in the music industry that it's not a typical advice that people would usually get? Like you personally, like, do you have something that you personally want to give over to people?
Oh man, yeah. I wish there was like some hidden secret that I could
Well, I wouldn't
divulge.
say like a tip or something, but advice, like just what to look out for.
I think you know what I get a lot of people ask me for advice. They say, I've been working on songs and I want to perform more. Which yeah, I get it. It's tough to get out there. Um, it's tough to find. I was very, very lucky. That's first of all. Mazel, Eibishter, you got to give credit where credit's due. My uncles, Avram Fried, my brother, Bentzi Marcus,
Yeah,
parents were extremely encouraging. All of our first concerts were for like my father's shul. He was so, he's our biggest fan. My father, he's our biggest fan. So there was a lot
that's great.
around us. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot around us that, my brother Chaim happened to be a professional, media guy, so he understood like, okay, you need to go to a professional studio and you have to, he wasn't like a professional musician, but he knew enough to like start guiding us, so I understand it's hard. It's very hard on your own, but the number one thing I tell people is to just do it. Just go. They tell me like, oh, I want to get more gigs, so go do more. Go, like, don't wait for somebody to come to you and hire
Yeah,
you or ask you. Go find, seek, even if it's just doing a kumsitz with a few guys, on a Mitzvah
of course.
Shabbos, or offering to sing at somebody's Hanukkah events. Maybe they're looking for someone, or if you're more in the writing space, find people to collab with, and just experience. Like I would say, like to someone who wants to get really good at guitar, practice. You just gotta practice. There's no secret. There's no secret to it at all. It's
Yeah,
just practice. That's all there is. It's just like, obviously you have to love it and you have to have a chush and a passion for it, but just practice. And as far as the creative side of it, it's just the experience. Just do as much as you can, find as much opportunity as you can, and see every experience as an opportunity to grow and to learn and to always be taking notes and absorb. If you meet someone who's better than you, that's one thing I did. If I met anyone who was, more experienced in music, I would just teach me something. I met somebody who
yeah,
played guitar better than me. I'm like, show me one thing that I don't know how to do. Like, okay, obviously I can't be as good as you in 5 minutes. Show me one thing, like, you can see how well I play. Show me just one thing. I was always learning and always trying to gain as much knowledge as I could. And I
yeah.
think that's just the best way to grow, just get the experience.
Perfect. So we have a lot of comments, a lot of questions. So we're gonna get to the audience.
Okay.
We're gonna give a shout out first to uh Pev J, which is a good friend of mine, Levi Mishalovin. It's just under a different username. Thank you also very much for the feedback for the sound and everything during the stream. When did he learn about you, Uziel? We first met at the Palm Beach Synagogue. That was before Hanukkah or after Hanukkah? Around then.
I don't remember.
It was a while ago, but yeah.
I mean, I knew about you beforehand, obviously.
Oh, how?
From my kids are huge fans.
Oh, yeah. You told me about that. Yeah. I heard it. Yeah. That's great. Um,
I was like starstruck. I was like, whoa.
yeah, you texted like out of the blue. You're Shabbos Mevarchim? I'm like, yeah. It was great.
Yeah.
So he has another question. What is your favorite song?
That's a common question, and there is no answer. My favorite song, I have a few. The problem is music is, like we said, it's something from the heart, from the soul. It's not a logical, rational existence. It's not a rational thing.
Yeah.
So, depending on the mood, depending on, like, for example, one of my favorite songs is like Oid Yeshvu
Oh,
from Green,
yes.
Mordechai and
Yes.
David.
By the way,
But
I always tell people if you want to know what makes classics composition classics, Oid Yeshvu, the fact that the intro itself are a lot of times more famous than the song itself is a complete credit to Yisrael Lam and his composition. That's to me is a perfect
that's a good
example of
call.
composition
Yeah,
legendary.
yeah, yeah.
That's
So yeah,
great.
I love that song. But like, am I always like, it's not always appropriate to sing that song. It's not like
Yeah.
just mood wise, And then on the other side of it, like one of my favorite like upbeat songs, for example, would be like something from like Yitzchak Viton. I don't know if you remember Ryan Mehemda,
Yeah.
or like Piamenta. Piamentas were my
Course.
heroes.
Of
My
course. Of
heroes.
course.
Piamenta is the number one reason why playing guitar. So like there Yishama, but like it's I would say it depends on the mood. I could tell you some of my favorite artists, like I just mentioned. I think picking a favorite song is impossible. And then people ask me, what's your favorite Eighth Day song? And I always tell them the next one. The one I'm
Yeah,
working
of
on
course.
now. The
Like,
one I'm working on now.
exactly. If you are working on something and at that moment you're saying my favorite song is a different one, then there's something wrong. There's something
Right.
missing. Nothing hooking you. You know what I
You're
mean?
right. Exactly.
I am
You.
Nute. Bentzi, who are you named after? If you are named after someone.
Oh, wow. That's an original question. I am named after my great great grandfather, my Zayd's grandfather. Yeah. So Avram
Nice.
Fried's great grandfather, if you want to
Yeah.
look at it that way.
Shout out to Levi Music 26. He didn't ask a question, but I'm just giving shout outs to some people on the chats. I'm also trying to get some more people because more people are joining in. Alavis Sunkin. What about Levi Shmuel appearing in the Yalili music video where he was in the first shot? Like he was the customer that's in the bad mood and Shmuley.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I forgot about that connection. He ended up being like the one of the stars in the video.
Yeah. Well, you
Okay.
probably like when you were making the music video, you probably said, I have to be part of it, you know?
So also just real quick because I have to get going soon.
Yeah, sure. No problem.
We filmed it in Pomegranate, the famous store in Flatbush, and we filmed it from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. So
Oh,
this
wow.
way, because we couldn't film it while the store was open, so we had to maximize when the store was closed. So by 2, 3, maybe 2 a.m., like a lot of the crew started leaving because music videos, especially a production of that size, it takes a long time. Every shot you got to set it up. We were those scenes where we're like going down the aisle.
Yeah.
Like we're on like a dolly. Someone's actually like pulling us.
Yes.
And the camera's like, and this shot gets messed up very easily. Got to reset it, go all the way back, start pulling it again, and yeah, it's very, very tedious. And
Yeah.
A lot of the crew started leaving, and we were like, okay, we need somebody to play this part, to do this really main part. And Ali Shoaib was there. He's like, I'll do it, and that really makes the video. That whole scene, the beginning and the end,
Yeah. So we'll end off with one thing. I just want to say shout out to Mendel Young. We answered your question about your inspiration with bands and everything. Shout out to Emmanuel Levine. I think that's everybody. But one last thing from Ira Ira Schleif 1230. I'm probably saying that wrong, but shout out to you. I think we can learn from Eighth Day Success is that they went out and did something different. They are full of energy and have unique compositions. That's
Wow.
and then finally, um, I'm trying to see. At Yaakov TN9N. Great concert with Thank You Hashem Boys. And last question, which everyone wants to know, what's the next project, the next album, next single? What's next?
Oh, great question. So we just released the Bar Yochai single, Lag Baimer. That was very fun. But yeah, we're in the works for a new album. It's gonna be our first album in a few years, so this is very exciting. We hope to release it sometime Tishrei. It's Hashem. That's the plan.
Nice.
It's not Hashem. Yeah, very, very exciting.
So I'm gonna go through the chat while you're gone, so that I could give everyone a proper questioning and shout out. But thank you so much, Bentzi, for joining us. I really appreciate you coming on. Thank you for being our first live guest. It was amazing.
Oh, wow.
Thank you so much.
Nice.
I mean, on the Previous podcast, like usually it's recorded
Right.
and edited, but like to have someone just raw and talk to the audience, well, that's what people really appreciate. So, thank you so much for joining us, and hopefully we'll see you again.
Thank you. Take care.
All right. See ya.
All right. Bye-bye.
So, all right. So let's continue on with the chat live. Here we go. All right. I'm trying to see anything that I've missed. Ask him about his liquor cabinet. Are you kidding me, Levy? Can Uziel be added the 8th day? Oh, 8th day? Come on. We need Uziel on 8th day. Bentzi, is there a run for president in your future? I'm Nata. Yo, it's me, Nata. How you doing, Nata? Bentzi, did your Tati give you that nickname or your brother Shmuley? Bentzi is which nickname? Exactly, that's what I'm thinking. How did you make the fish dance by Yalili? Was it a puppet? It was CGI. It was like the first time you didn't ever seen CGI. Actually, except for Asian MS probably, but in a music video. I just bought the Pat that rock and play guitar. Is it good? Do you recommend it, or should I return it? That's funny. For those who don't get that joke, it's literally a baby toy guitar. Did you buy any candy for Matisio's son in the store in the music video? Matisio's son was in the music video? I didn't know that. How did you feel with the dynamic of Shmuley that he does the composing and you do producing? Do you ever feel like getting involved in the more creative aspect of music? Well, what do you mean? They mainly Shmuley writes and he composes, but a lot of times they just do stuff. It's just because it's written so that composer writing doesn't necessarily mean that that's their job. You know what I mean? It's just a credit thing, but they do everything together basically. I mean, Bentzi's more on the producing and composing, obviously, but yeah. Can we get a trio, 8th Day and Levis is Sunken? Yeah, let's do that. Levis is Sunken, when are you coming out with your next album? Barrel Faden is ahead of you. Oh, they. Oh. Yeah, Levy. More music. Why not? Can you please give me a shout out, please? Shout out to I'm Nutta. Why do you think 8th Day is not coming out with any big hits like the good old days? Oh, come on. What are you talking about? Yaakov TN9 and Yalili. Of course. I'm not Shmuley. Do you like the Thank You Hashem Boys? Why not? I mean, music wise, that's up to him to say, but like just boys themselves. Why not? Can you tell us the history of the first song, Chocolate? We talked about that at the beginning. I don't know if you're around for that part of the stream, but you could replay it and find it and look at that. I remember hearing it years ago from relatives related to 8th Day. I think that was ADH. I think that's when he wrote it. Is Una está aquí. Oh, yeah. Yes, I think it is a Spanish song, yeah. Amendo Young, Ryan Mehemna, Isaac Bitone, Piamenta, Reva Lesheva, Leviathan, yeah. Yep, all those people. No, how many my Marim do you learn a week or average? Oh, that's a great question. That would have been great. What about Sichas and Fabringens? Yo, my friend finished Gem yesterday. What do you mean finish Gem? How do you finish Gem? I'm not sure what that means. At Miliang, lol, my question was answered inadvertently. Yeah, exactly. I was trying to get to the other questions. I am not that. If you don't learn Rishimais, I am deleting the tracks, letting the albums on the shelf rot. I could take those CDs if you want. I would love those CDs. Emmanuel V, no way. Love you, Bentzi. No, don't go. So everyone there were paid actors? Probably not everyone. I forgot about Diaspora Yeshiva Band. Yeah, Mendel, how can you forget that? And Mendel Young would be nice a medley of Eighth Day going through the Jewish rock classics that they grew up with. That would be an amazing medley. That would be amazing. Ask him how they did the Y music video. So Hula, you're talking about. Yeah, next time we have it, we'll do it. I'm not a me. Shout out for me. Emmanuel Levine. Yeah. And I am not to give me a shout out now. At Yaakov T9N. Happy face. Emmanuel Levine, yes. At Mendel Young, Barrio High single was basically just AI. I didn't listen to that one. Maybe next time. Emmanuel Levine. Yes, sir. Emmanuel Levine. I am not the. Do you feel cool speaking with Bentzi? Oh yeah, when I met him at the concert, like it was a gig he did in the Palm Beach Synagogue. We just spoke for like 10 minutes, and he was busy. He could have just said, "Hey, we'll talk later" or something. But he was amazing. Yeah, it's great. Are you excited for the new album? I'm excited for any music that I'll end up enjoying. Emmanuel Veen, yes. Emmanuel Veen, low key special feature for Uziel on the new album. That would be crazy. We need to get you on the 8th Day album. Why not? Then you'll be part of 8th Day and we'll call it 9 days. Nah, 8th Day has. Well, he talked about why it's called 8th Day. We have to get a competition 8 days and make 9 days and get you on the album. Sure, why not? Go ahead. What about you? New Uziel, get on the new album. At Yaakov T9 and 8th Day Fast songs are great. Yeah, they are. At Levius Asunko, name reveal. I am Nutta. Yeah, what is your name? I am Nutta. He's going to scream, Nutta! Next guest has to be Ben Sur. Yeah, wait. Ben Sur. Who's Ben Sur? You mean at least... No. Ben? Sur? Who's Ben Sur? Singer. Oh. Cool. I don't know who he is, so... I don't know if it's going to be... Who is this? Oh. Someone said, I'm not on your status. So let me just help him. All right. Should be now. There you go. Sorry about that. Anyway. Or Elite Soar. Yeah, I would love Elite Soar. Give it all you got at Yaakov TN9. Yeah. 9N. Uziel, you need to get next guest either Ben Sur or Elite Sur. Elite Sur probably. I don't know who Ben Sur is. Who's the next game you're aiming for? So I'm working. If any of you have been joining the low key live streams of behind the scenes that I do, I think one I left public for now because I'm waiting for something to load. So right now it's public from yesterday's stream, but I'm working on hopefully to come out after Shavuos. A podcast with Rabbi Engels, Moshe Bakar. I have on the pipeline interview with Dober Nadich, who did Space Rabbi. He writes for Tevito, Netflix, all that. Then I have Ronan Hershkowitz, who is from Biker Boys, True Enemy, Jewish Revenge. That was a great conversation. So those on the pipeline. But right now I'm editing that one. What? Benny Freeman next. Yeah, so, okay, I'll give you a scoop about Benny Freeman. I am doing something currently with Benny Freeman when it comes where I react to his album Kulan Nelech. But we did not finish the recording. So once that's finished, I'll put it out. It's going to be a cool stream, a video. You're going to check it out. It's going to be fun. What's your dream singer to interview? Ava Fried. Benny Freeman. No, sorry. Mordechai David. That would be great. You should get Ben Shapiro, the Jewish rapper. I should get Ben Shapiro. I would love to interview Ben Shapiro. The thing is, when I talk to, if I talk interview at Bentzi Marcus, it's gonna be like, it has to be something really unique. Just give any talking points that everyone already knows. Like everyone could just look up any subject on any opinion from Bentzi Marcus, so it's not gonna make a difference. Emmanuel Levine says Yossi Green. I've contacted Yossi Green. He said yes. I didn't catch up with him since then. It's been a while, so definitely. BLP Kosher. Who's BLP Kosher? BLP Kosher. I don't. Oh, doesn't. I was just not expecting that picture. I don't know who he is. Zusha, yeah, like Zusha would be great. All right, guys. That's it for today. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, Bentzi. This episode is going to be live already on YouTube. I'm going to try to put it on Spotify. You just have to edit it tonight, and then we'll put it on Spotify. That will be great. So that's going to be great. Also, we have during Sphera, we're having our live streams instead of just the music reaction. So stay tuned for that. I'm still trying to see what we do for the next one. I'm going to try to continue our Agent Emma's deep dive series, so stay tuned for that. But that'll be great. Yaakov T, 9N, Shmuley Unger, yeah, that'll be being to have it. All right, it's not about that he doesn't look Jewish. He just I was just not expecting that picture of him when I just look up a guy. You know what I mean? It's just like, whoa. All right, guys, thank you so much, everybody, for joining. It was a great audience. Thank you everyone for coming, and I would love to see everybody come back for future episodes. Stay tuned for the PM Talk. Has more episodes coming up, live streams, and all of that. See you around, everybody. This was great. See you next time. Live, Uziel's live for you to join along. Live, Uziel's live for you to join along.